Oh, well, Courtney Love has been difficult a couple of times. Morrissey was difficult.
It's so funny that you went to Courtney because that was the one that you've become friends with.
Well, she is. She's a genius. She is an incredibly smart woman, but she is just. She's hard to keep up with.
Right.
But back in the late '90s, early 2000s, she was a difficult interviewer. Now she's just like somebody I text back and forth with.
Right.
Morrissey, of course, he's just
classically
a hater of journalists.
Right.
So you never know what's going to come out of his mouth, whether it's going to be true or not, or whether he's having fun with you because it's just what he does. Then you get guys like John Frusciante from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, who he is an artiste,
right,
in the sense that he lives and breathes to make music and nothing else. Much else.
Yeah.
So he's not he's a difficult interview because he doesn't focus, or at least when I spoke to him, he didn't focus. But then you run across a guy like Bono. Bono's the greatest interview ever, because here's how an interview with Bono goes. How's it going? And that's it for 45 minutes.
Right.
You don't have to say a thing.
He's just got everything in the world ready to go.
He does. And he's got that Irish gift of gab. And not only that, he's got a tremendous amount of charisma. So when he's talking to you, you think that you are the only person in the world that matters. And you probably are for that moment, for that time that you have him. Bowie was exactly the same way.
Yeah.
When you talk to Bowie, it was like he looked you in the eye, he told you stuff, and it was like Ziggy Stardust is talking to me, and I'm all he cares about for right now. So my experience has been, the bigger the star, the better they are at interviews, because they've done so many and they understand it's part of their job. And some weird stuff happens every once in a while. I went down, remember them Crooked Vultures with Dave Grohl and Josh Homme and John Paul Jones. So I went down to interview them just before their album came out, that one and only album. And I did this at Pink Duck Studios, which is in Burbank, which is Josh Homme's studios. And it's in a residential area. You would, it would look like an old Korean grocery with the front door all sealed up. And you have to go around the back. So I go around back, and there's a picnic table, and there's the three of them just sitting having a beer at the picnic table. And one of the people from their management comes, come on into the control room and get your stuff set up. So okay, fine. So I'm in the control room getting my computer and my mics all set up, and John Paul Jones comes in. And hi, John. Hi. He picks up a bass that was sitting on a stand and plunks something vaguely Led Zeppelin-y, puts the bass down and goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I've been so rude. You've had a long journey. Can I get you a cup of tea?" Yeah, John, that would be nice. Okay, milk or lemon? Milk, John. Okay, fine, thanks. Okay. And he walks out. I'm working my stuff. Did I just send the bass player of Led Zeppelin out to get me a cup of tea?
Right.
He comes back, and it's on a china cup and saucer. Take a sip and make sure I got the sugar right. Yeah, John. Okay, fine, thank you. And he leaves. Just a tremendous gentleman.
Right.
And then the interview eventually starts, and Josh Homme's in a studio chair, and he's spinning around like a top, and I'm on a sectional. Dave Grohl is next to me, face down, snoring or pretending to snore, and John's sitting there with a cup of tea, and I'm thinking, okay, Queens of the Stone Age, Led Zeppelin, Foo Fighters, Nirvana. Okay, I have 200 million records looking at me right now, and I have them all to myself. At that point, I have the scariest job in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I have the best job in the world.
Talk to me about your research.
Okay.
What is it? How do you, because one of the episodes that I listened to was your 60 facts in 60 minutes, right? So clearly there's a system for you, right?
Yes.
I'm looking at 17 computer screens over here. And you clearly spend quite a bit of time going through here, and you've got a system that's involved.
I do.
Talk to me about your process.
It is a 24/7 thing. It is a lifestyle where I'm always looking for stuff. And when I find it, make a note of it, store it away, and I always plan ahead. So I know already what the ongoing history episodes are going to be for the first couple of weeks, months in the fall.
How do you make those decisions?
I have to... there's two things. Number one, it has to be things that I know the audience may like. And the other thing is, and this is the most important one, is, I've been doing this a long time. got a lot of baggage, been there, done that, all that kind of stuff. If I can find something that makes me go, wow, that's cool. If it makes me go, that's cool. Think about the effect that it's going to have on a person with a life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the filter. It's got to make me think, wow, I did not know that. That is really interesting. Well, let me see if I can spin this into a story or a theme that will make other people look at their radio or their podcast device and go, wow, I didn't know that. And in an era where music is being dominated by streaming, which is basically just in one ear and out the other with no context whatsoever, there's no cost whatsoever to a lot of people because they get the free tiers. It's organized noise. You know, there's no relationship with the artist, no relationship with the song, no relationship with the album because there's nobody to tell them. They either like what they hear or they don't and they skip it. Mm-hmm. What can you do to keep people from skipping? Or what can you do to get people to go into this particular direction that is actually going to be more fulfilling for them than just a algorithmically collected playlist.
AVB Podcast. Don't forget you can subscribe to our full audio episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere you find your audio podcasts. The full episodes, highlights, and our live off-the-floor performance videos can be found at our YouTube channel, and you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at the AVB Podcast. Of course, you'll find links to our incredible sponsors and this week's guest in the description below. The AVB Podcast is part of the Border City Network. Find more great content at bordercitynetwork.com. See you next time, folks. Bye-bye.